Hey, I'm Seth Hawkins. I'm the Community and Urban Forester for Georgia Forestry Commission for the Northeast part of the state. I'm here at Georgia College and State University. We're doing their Arbor Day for 2018. And we got students out here. They're all out planting other trees. I thought we'd make a little video while we were out here, us planting one. Just we can kind of help everybody learn some do's and don'ts of proper tree planting. So we went ahead and pre-dug the hole here. So you know, figure people wouldn't want to watch a video of us digging a hole, right? So the first thing you'll notice about it is how wide and shallow the hole is. You want your hole to be at least 2, hopefully 3 times as wide as your root ball is. So here's our tree root ball, so you can see we're about twice as wide as the root ball on that. Another thing you'll notice is how shallow this is. The #1 mistake made when people plant trees is planting them too deep. That's always the #1 mistake I see with tree planting. So you want to make sure when you plant it, there's a little root collar down in here where it starts to buttress out at the bottom of the trunk. You want to make sure that's about 1 inch or so above soil grade when you plant it. Reason being is it's going to settle down when it rains. Then our root flare should be right at soil grade. Where that root flare is where a lot of your gas exchange with your root system happens. And that's just kind of the base of the tree, so you don't want to have that too deep in the ground or your roots just kind of feel suffocated. You can get adventitious rooting that can cause girdling roots right around the base of the tree. So it's really important to make sure that the tree's not too deep. So we went ahead and dug our hole out nice and wide and shallow. We also went around it, and I just kind of did this number all the way around the edge of the grass. What that does is kind of just open up little root channels for the roots to kind of get into when they're young and juvenile. As they grow in diameter, they work like a spacer and kind of just push that turf apart, and it allows avenues for radial root growth. Because the big thing to remember is your roots don't grow down, they grow out. So you want to make sure to encourage the best you can to encourage radial root growth out away from the trunk. So we got our hole all, like I said, dug out nice and wide and shallow. Got the edges of the hole all broken up just to encourage water movement and root growth out into the hole. We got our root channels established. Next thing is to check the depth of the tree. So gently as you can, kind of wiggle this thing out of its pot. If it's really in there too tight, you don't want to jerk too hard on the tree, so just go ahead and cut the pot apart if you have to. Seems like this one will come right out for us though. So you get it out, get it in your hole, and just kind of check your depth. So you want to make sure, like I said, that this root flare right here you can see now, you want to make sure that that's up above soil grade, at least 1 inch, sometimes even more than that. So y'all think we're looking good on depth? Everybody think we look good?
Yes. Maybe down.
Maybe a little deeper. And all this soil's all broken up around it so the roots can grow out into it. Just dug us out a little deeper. That looks better to me, yeah. So once you know you got your depth right, then you want to start checking the angle, making sure it's good and straight. So
over that, back towards you.
Yeah. So let's do that. Just kind of get some dirt under there and pack it under there, and just kind of level the guy out. And it helps if you got people to help out to look from perpendicular angles. Kind of look from right here. This looks pretty good this way. Come back this way more. How's that?
Pretty good.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Whoa. So yeah, I think it looks good from that angle. I think we're looking good straight from that angle.
I think we got it.
So when you're looking for straightness, you want to make sure and focus on just the main trunk right here, make sure it's straight. If your tree's kind of bent or crooked at the top, that's probably from being in the nursery when it was kind of crowded looking for sun. The sun should take over, and this should ride itself up straight once it's out here in this open and grown environment. So the big thing to look for is just make sure that this trunk's nice and straight. So once you get in there, the last thing I like to do, especially with a containerized tree or a potted tree, it's just the nature of the beast of growing something in a pot for 2 or 3 years. So you're going to have some roots kind of just bunched up or circling around, and that's you got to go ahead and get those loosened up. If those roots are circling around the trunk, as they gain diameter, as the root plate gains diameter, it's going to kind of just choke itself off and girdle it. So you want to make sure and just kind of break up the edges of the root ball real nice. Get all those fine roots all broken up loose. Like I said, remember that roots are going to grow out, so we don't want them to circle around the trunk. We want them to grow out into the landscape. So just kind of want to break all that up, feel around for any roots that might be hiding down in there that are circling around the root ball. Just want to kind of pull those out. Luckily, I don't think I don't feel any on this one really. So we got that all loosened up. So, and then from there, it's the part most people know how to do. Just throw the dirt and the water back in there, and then you got a tree planted.